Hey y'all. Hey now, I'm an all-star. Dun, 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 don't stop. Hey now, I'm an all-star. Dun, 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 don't stop. How does that song go? I don't know why, but for whatever reason that just popped in my head as hey y'all. There we go. As hey I now, I'm an all-star. As I was hopping on, I needed to put this on live so that I can make sure that everything is working just fine. So I literally started to set up my camera and do all my things, but then I'm like, okay, I haven't pulled the camera out since we moved. The battery's dead. I'm like, all right, they got to charge. Then I got the mic, and I'm like, okay, where are all the things? So what we're gonna do is have all that set up for next time. But on today, y'all, what y'all up to? So I've been going live a lot on Tips and Conversations on TikTok. And it's been such a time. It's been such a time. So obviously we started Tips and Conversations Live on the IG, and then brought it over here to the YT, and then just had a good time over on the TT. um, and y'all, I got banned. I got banned. Temporarily banned, but I think it's all good things. So a lot of like trolls or whatever were coming into our space and just being really negative, saying some really nasty things. And I was not having that. So I didn't realize that I don't think that you can block the people, but you can't like report them, because then they will block you. They will block you. I just realized I still have this on. Let me actually take this off. So my son had a basketball tournament. Can I ever take it off? I guess I gotta cut it off. My son had a basketball tournament, and they lost. They played yesterday, and they lost in their. I can't take it off. Whatever. And then they lost in their first game today. And so yeah, so it's just been like, okay, well, let's make the most out of the day. Since we're not going outside, I'm like, let me just hop on here and have a little sips and conversations, old school live edition. So, except for it's just me. All right, y'all just get me today. Um, it is really, really late and it's very impromptu. So, Alana is over in the UK, I'm sure, fast asleep. So, we're going to do this kind of sort of old school. What? Okay, so first of all, I got to start off with what I'm sipping on. I'm actually sipping on a little bit of wine, because it's Saturday night. Why not? And in case you can't tell, definitely in a new space. Been in this new space now for a few months. Actually, um, I bought this place back last fall, like in maybe September, October. I can't remember exactly which month. And then moved in January, so I could have a place here in Georgia, because I work in supply chain in Georgia. So, and then I can still travel back and forth between Georgia and Alabama as needed. So, yeah, I've been in here and finally starting to feel a little bit like more at home and things of that sort. Anywho, let's hop right on into some of the topics that I wanted to hit on today. Y'all, love on the spectrum. When I tell you, I am obsessed. I'm obsessed with Love on the Spectrum. Now, for those of you that don't know what Love on the Spectrum is, it's a show on Netflix that follows several individuals. I think this is their third season. This is the only season that I've ever watched. So I need to actually go back and watch season 1 and 2. But they follow different men and women that are on the spectrum, right? Uh, so and this is the unique thing about the show is like, what other show, whenever you think about like a dating show, so it's a dating show, let me put it, it's a dating show, forgot to mention that. And that follows the journeys of men and individual men and women that are on the spectrum. And when you think about like dating shows, like they don't ever have, it's always like, I don't want to say like normal people, but like it's not, this is just not an area where people are highlighted, right? Like, and when we think about people that have like autism or I think I don't know if they. I'm not really familiar with like the autistic world and everything like that. So please forgive me. But like autism or like Asperger's or anything like that, you don't see them on like standard traditional dating shows. So I think it's such a beautiful thing to be able to provide a space for them to be able to like date and to meet people and to find love because golly, like they are such good people. Oh my gosh, like this sector of our community does not get enough shine. Like, okay, so one of the things that I love, 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 love about the individuals on the show is that everybody asks for like permission, right? It's like permission to touch your hand, permission to uh, to give you a hug, permission to like kiss, right? Um, there's no like just assuming that that's okay, you know? And I think that's just such a beautiful thing. My favorite person on the show, hands down, I have two faves. Connor. Connor is incredible. Connor, when you first see Connor, all you think about, at least me, all right, all I thought about was like old, like 1800s or like 1700s Britain type vibes, right? Like it's giving very, like his personality is very like a Game of Thrones, right? Like Gladiator, like he's from like that era. And but like he has definitely like the side of him that is just like more approachable and all that, but he is extremely dramatic and he does speak like in that like speak from that era. And when I say he's producing his own show, that dude is a he's producing his own show. He's 1,000% a star. He's a star. And there's a scene in there where he goes on the first date of the season, and when they're interviewing, he makes it very clear when they're interviewing him, he makes it extremely clear that he is looking to get it on popping. All right. Connor said, "Look, I'm ready to get it on and popping this year." Hold on, my mom was calling. Let's see. Hold on. We're gonna keep this in here. Hey, mom. Hey, girl. You look cute. What? Thank you. You look cute too. I look. Hey, parental. He looks good in red. Thank you. I'm actually recording a video. I'm on live right now, but I wanted to pick up. You look so pretty. Have fun. Thank you. All right. You look pretty too. You look handsome, Daddy-O. Okay. Um. Yeah, my parents are the cutest. Okay, so where were we? Connor. Yeah, so Connor, there's a scene. Oh, yeah, so he goes out with this one lady, and she was cool. She was like pretty reserved, and he's not that at all. So he was carrying like the whole conversation, and you could tell that he was not like the biggest fan in the world of it. It's fine. It's okay. I'm just on live. Tristan, it's fine. You have to come in at some point. Anyways, um, so yeah, you could tell he was just not the biggest fan in the world. Like of her, like he was really nice and polite, but was not the best of time. And she wanted to clearly like keep it going and popping with him. But yeah, he decided to end it in such a like gentleman type way. And again, there's so much I feel like we can learn from this community of people because they are so polite. And I don't know if it's because when you do when you are on the spectrum, especially if you get diagnosed early enough, you do go to treatment, and so you learn skills of like how to um, ensure that you are understanding, that you're not like crossing boundaries, like a lot of things that I feel like we go to therapy for, like those that are on the spectrum, they go to therapy for in a different way. And so they're because they're getting the skills to like cope or to work through certain situations. I don't know, I feel like it just allows them to operate a little bit differently. I've talked to my dad about this because he actually, humble plug, he owns Neuro Skills Integrated Learning, okay, located in Arlington, Texas. And a lot of his clients are children that have autism. So definitely a conversation I'm gonna have with my dad about all this or whatnot. But anywho, so they don't work out, and he goes on another date with a lady named Georgie. And when I tell you, he is head over heels for Georgie. They're both like super like funny. They like the same things. He is super intelligent. Like he's so smart. Like y'all talk about Alana being like extremely intelligent all the time, but like Connor is super smart. Like he just knows the most random things. And I might have to test Alana's knowledge. Maybe this will be like our next sips is where we just have like test Alana's knowledge. But yeah, so Connor's super smart and they're having this a grand old time. He's laughing at her jokes, she's laughing at his jokes. It was really great. At the end of the date, they said they want to go out again. And long story short, like they end up going out several times, and then she meets his family. He invites her over. They finally kiss. It took like three shots for them to kiss because he was so nervous. Like I mean, like three different dates for them to finally kiss because he was so nervous and he never kissed a girl before, and she never been on a date or kissed a guy before. It was just so great. And for reference, Connor is 25, I think, and I think. I don't remember how old Georgie was. I can't remember, but yeah, looks like they're still together. So spoiler alert, they're still together, doing great. Then the other couple, well, lady I really liked a lot. Her name was Madison. I just really like her so much. She lives on her own, which is really really cool, and she's very proud of that. She's very involved with her church. She does a lot of like beading and things of that sort to help her um, with like her anxiety and things of that sort. And so, but anyway, so we see her going on like her love journey as well. And after, one bad date, oh, it was so bad. I felt bad for her. The guy she was on a date with, like, did not like crowds. He was like crowding over and things of that sort. It was just really, really unfortunate. And so that, she didn't want to go out with him. And she was so nice when she said it to him. She's like, I had a great time. Da, da, da. I just don't know that I see us, being more than friends. And I don't know, they're just so naturally loving and so sweet and so considerate. And then it was like the theme, like everyone on the show was. When I say they, that's what I'm referring to. And then there was like, so she ends up finding like her cowboy print, and those two could not keep their hands off each other. Okay, like in front of her parents, and I was like boohoo crying so hard. It was actually right before her final scene. There was another lady who it looks like she started off in season one. So her and her dude were celebrating their third anniversary, and it must be that they met in that season. I just started watching season one, but I've watched all of season three. So, but it was their anniversary, and she was like, they went to somewhere to have wine, and they were out in the garden, and they exchanged gifts, and then she calls somebody out with a guitar, y'all, and she serenades this man. She had written him a special song all about what he meant to her, how special he was to her. I was boohoo crying. I was boohoo crying so hard because like the love that they have for one another, like her love for him was just so genuine seeming. And she was like unapologetically saying, I love my man. And with no restrictions, with no anything. And I feel like in today's society, I keep looking down just to make sure like I'm not seeing any comments or anything like that. But in today's society, women, maybe not just today, but women have been taught like, a man should love you more than you love them. And there is a lot of truth and kind of ish to that. But it's a complicated thing to talk through. But, men are very, whenever I hear that, because my mom talks about that sometimes too, but like men are very physical creatures, and attraction is extremely important to them. And so if a man is like attracted to you, like physically, mentally, emotionally, like if he's like just truly attracted to you, he is going to like they fall in love first. Yeah, just because they're not, maybe because they're not used to dealing with emotions. I don't know. That's another one to talk to my doctor daddy about. But yeah, but like it's also equally important, I feel like, for women to like not cower behind the hurt and the pain, right? That causes us to have like these like hard exteriors and hearts, but to really embrace being in love and embrace the man that or woman, right? You're the person that is making you feel that way, and to watch this young lady just serenade her man, especially when society tries to tell you that because of XYZ, what happened? We're pausing. Because of XYZ, you will not find love. And to see that this couple just really like unconditionally loves one another. They don't care about what anybody says. There's no restriction to their love. Like I was boohoo crying. I was boohoo crying. Yeah. Oh, I'm trying not to like go there again. I'm so blessed. I'm thankful. Like my son was born uh, 4 weeks early, but he almost didn't make it. He almost didn't make it. When he was born, there was something going on with my IV, and I should have, and that's a story for another day, so I'm not going to go like deep into it. So there was something going on with my IV, and I really should have said something, but I didn't know any better, right? And then as I'm actually like in the act of pushing, his heartbeat just fails. I'm like crashing, and they do emergency C-section. And I was awake for all of this. And I remember him coming out, and they were poking and prodding me, trying to like find my veins, and they couldn't. And so I was distracted by that for a second. And then I started hearing two, and I'm like, what are they counting? Then I heard three. I'm like, what? And I was like, well, what? My baby's not crying. I'm like, where's Tristan's not crying? And I just started praying. They got to four, and I said a prayer. And next thing you know, I heard her cry. And okay, I'm gonna try to say this. And so he was moments away from like being brain dead, um, or from really being like negatively impacted. And so when I watch these like young adults and some older adults um, that have a disability, and the world counts them out, the world makes fun of them, the world is just so cruel and nasty to them, and to see them persevere through it all, thinking like that could easily be any of our children, like any parent, that could be your child. If you're a human being that's breathing, that could easily be you. And so to see these people, these individuals have such strength and be so resilient in the name of love, I just cannot. Okay, so we're gonna move. We're gonna move on. Because I'm like really like trying not to cry. Okay, so the other big thing. There's been so much lately. Oh my goodness. The other big thing that happened this week, and we're gonna get a little bit till last week, was I came across. I was watching Jessie Wu. Actually, I love her so much. And the way she's unapologetically Haitian, speaking Creole on her show, I love it. I'm so here for it. And I don't understand Creole, but there's parts of French I understand, and Creole has obviously it's French based. So sometimes I can't understand some of the things that she's saying, but I am so here for it. But she teaches us Creole, y'all. She'll be on there and she'll just start speaking in Creole, and then she'll say it in English. You're like, y'all see how I'm teaching y'all my language? I don't want to hear nothing. Da, da, da. But couple things. Oh my gosh, and she's going on. So I'm gonna first talk about this one thing. Then I want to talk about what she was doing on her show, like her new show. So there was a woman, I forget her name, but she had spent $10,000 on a dating coach and posted about it on TikTok. And so Jesse had her on the show. What's this lady's name? Let me see if I can find it real fast. So Jesse had her on the show, and let me just turn down. She had her on the show, and what is her name? Okay, Shirley something. Her name is Shirley Vernay. Shirley Vernay. So Shirley is 39 years old. Okay, and she made a video saying that she spent $10,000 on a dating coach. Now she prefaced it with, she is the founder and owner of a 7-figure marketing business. She owns a creator, like a creator house, essentially, right? Or a marketing house. So essentially, like if a brand, let's just say Rihanna, if Rihanna has a product launch coming up and she wants to tell a story using social media, she hires someone like Shirley's company, and they'll do the whole marketing strategy, curate the plan, like present that to the client, and then actually like deliver like a finished product. So they'll get the creators to do the work. They'll write the script. They'll do everything, put together a package, and actually then they turn it over to the company, and then they will pump it out, right? So she's extremely successful at this. She's had a business for only 2 years, y'all. 2 years, and is already pulling in $7 million. So extremely smart woman, definitely a go getter, all that stuff, right? And she was talking about how she was in a 13-year relationship, and they decided they were not going beyond that. And then she spent 2 years not dating because her parents had fell ill. They had some health conditions, and at the same time, she started to start her business and all that. So it took her out of the dating world for 2 years, and she actually really attributes that time to like God, and being real thankful because He preserved her from not getting any more hurt or damaged during that time. Well, when she was ready to start back dating, she hired a dating coach. What's that guy's name? Antoine. What's his name? Um, she hired a dating coach, Antoine something. Oh, I'm sorry, Anwar White. She hires Anwar White, and the purpose of Anwar, she was like, she was able. He told her a couple things. And ladies, please listen, especially my Black women, because these are things that I've actually had to overcome myself. And when I talk about this, folks are like, "Girl, you crazy." So it is extremely important. This is what Emma was telling her, like, hey, you're out there in the dating world, like, remove boundaries. Okay. Like, you might have to go not find, but be open to dating a white man. Be open to dating an Asian man. Be open to dating somebody from um what like from India or Pakistan, like from that region of the world. I forget what, I know they're Asians, but I forget what we classify them as. But like Middle Easterns, is that what they're? I don't know. Am I saying that right? Where's Ilana? Ilana, please correct me. But like, be open, ladies. Be open to date somebody from Spain, from Portugal, from Brazil, from wherever, and obviously from the U.S., from Africa, from any parts of Africa. Like, just be open, right? Because a lot of times, women in general, and I can only speak to Black women because I'm a Black woman, but it's kind of noticeable. And when I talk to men, they say women in general are generally more likely to want to date like their own, right? Their own culture, their own race, their own people, um, because they want children that look like them. One. Two, in general, it's most, and again, I'm only going to speak for Black women because I don't know the motive behind white women. But when I talk to my Black sisters, whether you are African, Latin, wherever from the UK, when I talk to my Black sisters, one of the reasons why we date within our race is because it's easier. We don't want to have to explain our hair. No. You might have watched the last episode, where I gave a great example of me having to explain my hair in the workplace. It's not okay. Oh, and quick sidebar: if you've made it this far, please, we're so bad at this. Alana and I, we suck at this. Like this video, like the video, and do all those things. All right, like, follow, share, all the things. Okay. So we don't want to have to explain our hair. We don't want to have to explain the food we eat. We don't want to have to explain what it means to have a Black day. We don't want to have to explain microaggressions. We just want someone to know it. And why does that make sense? Because some people are going to say, well, that doesn't make sense. How are you going to find love if you're not open? Well, as women, like, we are softer. We don't really want stress. Okay. Us women, we do not want wahala. We want to live simple lives. All right. And when you have to do all that work in a relationship, that's not living a simple life. Like, it's stressful, it's hard. But at the same time, if you're not willing to be open to somebody else, you oh my gosh, what's the word I'm pulling for? Oh, you disqualify yourself. No, you deprive yourself from certain experiences. Okay. For instance, I am a born West African woman. Okay. I was born in Cameroon. And before some Nigerian person comes for me and says Cameroon is Central Africa, I beg, go sit down. Nobody asked you. Okay. So I was born on the coast. All right. That is very giving West Africa. So, but however, because I was raised in the US and we did not have a lot of Africans around us when I was growing up at all. Furthermore, being African was not cool because that was like, people were talking about AIDS and all kinds of craziness, right? So, so yeah, it just wasn't a thing. It wasn't okay to be African. So I wanted no parts of it whatsoever. I did not want an African last name. I wanted to be like Nancy Smith. Like, I never actually dreamt or thought of like being married, to be honest with you. But I also never thought of being married to an African man at all. No. Because all I thought about was like my last name. I didn't think about like what life would be like. None of that. It was just like my last name. I did not want my last name to be African because growing up, I had a very difficult time, a very, very hard time with the name Nancy Gua. Nobody could say my last name. All right. It was terrible. It was a horrible time. Then they found out I was African. They would ask if I had giraffes in my backyard. They would ask, did I grow up with lions? They would ask, do I scratch my butt with my fingers? They would ask if we had toilet paper. Y'all, it was a terrible time. And so I just wanted to be Nancy Smith. Okay. So as I got into my 20s and got interested in dating, because there was no dating in my household, I was terrified of dating, yo. My first dating experience was not until I was in college. I was, I think, like 19. So I went to college when I was 17. So yeah, I had to have been like, I think 19 for sure. Like almost 19 or 19 years old before I even like started talking to boys. And where I went to school at, there was no Africans. It was like just me. I think we had like one African dude there. And may he actually rest in peace, actually passed away. a couple years ago, or last year. Might have been last year. Um, but yeah. So there was no African. So it's like me and then my sorority sister. Like no Africans anywhere. There's a few African women, but like not really African men, right? So I didn't have a lot of exposure. And then even after my college boyfriend and I split up, of course he was Black American. I was like, nope, I'm only dating Black Americans. So I finally became open minded when my sorority sister introduced me to an African man. And I was like, well, I never really thought about dating an African man. But at this point, like I was open. I was open to like just, finding love and all that. So went out with him, had a really great time. Oh my gosh. And we ended up like dating off and on for a few years. And I had a great time. I learned a lot from him. He was really, really good to me. He reminded me of like this one other dude that I was dating before. But then he had like, he was a little bit withdrawn, the typical African man stuff. Um, but, or so I thought, right? And so then as the years have gone on, like I've just become more open to just dating anybody. I'll date outside my race. I don't care. And then what you find out is that every community has its thing, right? Every man is different depending on the community, their culture that they grew up in. But then every man also has similarities. So whereas the African dude, who was actually from where I was from, that I looked at like, oh, he's a little bit withdrawn because he's African. When I was dating another African dude, I realized this guy wasn't withdrawn, but he had hoish behavior, but he was good to me. Shoot, but he just had hoish behavior. I just couldn't deal with him. And he was a liar. I was like, we're not doing this. And that behavior is something that I had grown to associate with like Black American men, right? So you learn that different bad habits are not just within one community, one bucket. And then you learn that good habits are not just within one bucket, right? And then you also learn that different cultures do things differently. And so you get to decide like what you like, what you don't like, and you have more exposure to things. And then you can really and truly create a true like list of non-negotiables versus like, I don't want a man that doesn't eat pork or just these random stupid, I don't want a man that, I don't know, snores at night. What? I need a man who treats his mother like a queen, or I need a man who does. You just, by opening up yourself to like meeting different people, you see different elements of folks, and you stop characterizing one stereotype to a particular group of men, and then you just start to really understand like what you like. So, anywho, that was a very long-winded way of saying this dating coach had basically was helping her with that. She ended up being with a Black man, but she's like, she was like, you know what? She was open to other cultures, other races. And there was another guy that was like really in close place with her. I was assuming, I don't know, maybe I'm making some of this up, but she did say like, if it didn't work out with her man, she was like, no, I was about to hop over because I gathered, she didn't say the whole story, but I gathered there was somebody else that she was dealing with that was like of a different culture, a different race, ethnicity, whatever, that she was feeling, right? So, but she's still engaged with a Black dude. Well, people are giving her such grief because she spent $10,000 on a dating coach. They're like, when eggs are $1 million, you spend, yeah, first of all, she has the money. Okay. She has it. So like, what's your problem with her spending $10,000? The same way that people invest in bags or in school or in just therapy in general. Folks spend years and years and years in therapy. That's tens of thousands of dollars in therapy. But yet, because someone spent that on a dating coach, there's a problem with them. We spend thousands of dollars on our nails a year. But because somebody spent that on a dating coach, that's a problem. Like, what are your all's thoughts? I'm pretty curious to know your thoughts on spending money on a dating coach. I think it's great. I think it's great to invest in yourself. Anytime that you can invest in yourself that make in a way that makes you better, why not? Um, and guess what? If you don't have the coins and you're really bothered by the fact that this woman had $10,000 to spend on a dating coach and is still able to live, that's something you got to deal with on your own. And maybe, go check out shapetrendy.group.com, and we can work together, right, to learn how to um, build yourself up, empower yourself personally, financially, and professionally, so that you too can spend $10,000 on a dating coach at some point if you so choose. Um, Sorry, y'all, I just couldn't help myself. That was a little petty. But really, it's giving I don't have money and I'm mad that somebody else can do it. So really happy for her. One thing that Jesse did say to her was like, man, I kind of wish that you would have like gotten married because the internet is terrible. I get it, but like the internet is terrible no matter what. So she could have gotten married and they still would have tried to pull out some stuff to separate them. So like who cares? That's my view on things. C'est la vie. Um, okay, the other thing that Jessica has been doing on her show is till y'all till lies do us part. Till lies do us part. So she was inspired by Pop the Balloon or Find Love, which I love that show, and I'm very, very happy that Netflix is taking criticism and it's fixing. Y'all, I cannot see myself, and it's fixing like what they're doing because they butchered the show bad. Um, so I'm really, really happy that Netflix has taken a cue and they're like, let's fix this, okay? Because I was going to have to boycott. I was going to have to boycott, but they're doing better. But anyway, so she was inspired. Jess was inspired by all of what has happened to start her own series that she's been thinking about for a while. With what is that lady's name? She was on Simone. Simone. I don't know if y'all know her from Ready for Love, the Creole lady. So like real, like I mean, she's Creole. She's like super fair, curly hair. She's the attorney. Simone, your best friend. Yeah. So the other, so she had, so it was her and Simone, and what they do is, okay, what they do is, let's say that you want somebody to run a background check on somebody that you were either you're dealing with, right? Could be your man, your husband, your best friend's man, okay, whomever. All right. So you can fill out this form and then they'll see if you're you have, uh, then if you're like selected or whatever, you have to come on the show. You can blur out your face. They don't reveal anyone's name whatsoever, but they talk through situations. And this past week, y'all, this is the second episode. This week's was quite crazy. So it was a young lady. She was Haitian, and I think she was like 28, 29, something like that. She had three kids. Her third child is by this one another Haitian dude who I'm not gonna give it all away, but long story short, my jaw dropped. The ending, I might give the ending away. I'm trying to see how not to give the ending away, but my jaw actually dropped. So she meets this guy. I think they met like something during like COVID online or something. I can't remember how they met exactly, but he very quickly is like he's dating her. I think he came out to see her or something like that. So he's living in a way, or he's the way he's presenting himself to her is like a man that is about his business. He has money. He got his stuff going on. Da da blah blah. Right. Turns out, homeboy has no job. When they do the background check on him, homeboy is working in like as a assisted living person. Which again, it's an honorable job. But he was acting like he had all this money, like he's taking, like he's going to wine and dine himself, eating fancy steak dinners and doing all this stuff. Meanwhile, he's living in an apartment with like four people in a two-bedroom apartment, sharing rooms and stuff. And um, she ends up getting pregnant by him. He basically trapped her. She got pregnant by him. He had told her that he was a U.S. citizen. Y'all, this man does not even have a social security number. Well, he does, but it's like on a temporary. There's no issue date, so it's like a temporary. So you're here on temporary status, and you told this woman that you are a U.S. citizen. The baby, I'm assuming he thought the baby would give him like some form of like ability to stay or something in the U.S. It doesn't work that way, especially you're the dad. Like they don't care. They deporting people to Venezuela every day. This place is crazy. So yeah, that doesn't mean anything. And then as they're doing more and more, they're like going deeper and deeper. Simone was telling the lady, "You better go get child support." She's like, "Well, my mom said not to." Because like especially us immigrants, we are quick to be like, "We're not putting our baby daddy on child support because da da da." I don't need the money. I have my family. My family will provide, blah, blah, blah. You don't want to cause wahala, da, da, da. And turns out Simone was like, look, girl, you want to go put him on child support because he's got an open case. He got hit by a car or something like that. And long story short, he has this like pending disability case from like an accident. And he's suing for like $2 million. Okay. And so the way he was living, why he was able to afford all these fancy dinners and act like he got money, because he took out a loan against his settlement. The loan was accruing interest of like 40%. All right. So the way those loans work, it's a loan against future payout, but again, like at 40% interest, basically. And so if it's $50,000 that you borrow, you're going to end up paying $90,000 compounded quarterly. Woo! So, oh, that's painful. I'm sorry. It's so painful. And yes, if you're thinking that's illegal, reason why they're able to skirt the system, because you're not supposed to be able to do that to people, to take advantage of folks like that. The reason why those kind of loans are okay is because if you lose your court case, you don't have to pay the money back. So they're like, we have to charge this exorbitant rate in order to have a chance of having any kind of cash. So anyways, so Simone was like, look, if you go put him on child support today, you may not get any money. You might get $10 a month. It doesn't matter. But when his case settles, because it seems like he has a pretty good shot of it settling. So like when his case does actually settle, attorney fees come off the top. They get 40%. So if it's $1 million, I didn't know that, y'all. Is it 40? I think it's still 40%. So if it's $2 million, your attorney is getting 40% of that. Okay. And the check goes to the attorney, right? And they pay bills out, including you. You are a bill. So the attorney gets their money off top, and then your hospital bills get paid. No, your debtor gets paid. Your hospital gets paid. You kind of get the scraps. You get whatever's left. So if the lady were to go file child support and communicate with a lawyer that this man has pending child support and that she needs to be paid out by whatever, like she has a child support lien against him, then when his case settles, the lawyer gets their 40%, and then she's right behind the lawyer. She gets paid before anybody else gets paid. So that homegirl was like, I'm running tomorrow. She's like, I'm not working right now. I'm running tomorrow to file child support on this man. It's a great show. Go follow Jessie Wu. I think if you follow her, you can find her show, or if you find her, you can find that show somewhere. But I'm definitely going to be tuning in next week. It is just like, I don't know. I love reality type stuff. Like that is good, right? To me, it's like helping somebody like uncover the truth of the person they're dealing with, because I know what I have dealt with in the past, y'all. And if I could have had that knowledge, that insight, so many things. But what they just avoid, like help this young lady avert, homeboy was getting evicted from his apartment, okay, because she came on the show and found out all this information. Now she probably was considering, she says that she wasn't, but she probably was considering letting him come live with her, because he said something about, oh, we'll get a place together, my money's about to come in, da da da, blah blah. And so he would have taken advantage of her again after not being there for their child. That's the part I didn't even say any of that. Yeah, he's not been there for their kid. He's seen his kid, their baby that they have. The first time that he saw her after she got pregnant, although he was excited, was 7 months, 6 or 7 months after she got pregnant. Then he was there for the birth, and then he's not seen this baby. I think but one time since the baby was born. Baby's like 7, 8 months old. Craziness, right? You get a woman knocked up, you abandon her, and then now all of a sudden you're trying to come back to take financial advantage of her. Men are sick. Not all men, but you got some sick men out there. Like you got sick women, I get it, but you got some sick men out there. Okay, so the next thing that I want to talk about, what time is it? It might be the last thing, is have y'all seen all of the wahala about these bags? The Birkin bag, the Chanel bag, y'all. I'm sitting back and I'm eating my popcorn. I'm eating my popcorn, my invisible popcorn. I'm just popping. Because it's crazy. Oh my goodness. It is absolutely insane. These bags. Okay, so the US and China are in a tariff war. All right. Everyone in the world knows that the US is a capitalistic country. All right. We're a capitalist country. We believe in working really hard and making a lot of money so you can buy a lot of things. It's all about materialism, which causes a lot of stress and a lot of things. But the US is, that's how the US is able to stay afloat. Like we are spenders. We are the people that buy all the things in the world, okay? Because we have a good healthy economy and all that. And without getting too deep into politics, which is the reason why like we do programs like USAID and we're out there because we've got soft power. Why do we have soft power? So that we can buy things from you for nothing and not feel bad about it. I mean, let's call a spade a spade. It is what it is. So now that the Orange Man has decided that he's going into sparring again with China, who you went to spar with them the last time that you were in office, and you think they didn't learn their lesson? They're not like the American people, all right? China learned its lesson, and they said, all right, you want to put us in a bad situation? Fool me once, shame on me. I mean, shame on you. But fool me twice, shame on me. China said, there should not be any shame on me. Okay, we've been around. China has been around way longer than America. What, hundreds of years or thousands of years, however long they've been around. Let me ask ChatGPT or Siri. I wonder if Siri knows. Hey Siri, can Siri not hear me? Let me just message. Let's see. How long has China been around? Okay, and plug it in again. Y'all, if you made it this far, or if you're just stumbling across this live right now, please do me a favor, hit the like, okay, and do a little comment. Let us know your thoughts. So, China as a civilization has been around for over 3,000 years. 3,000 years. And how long the US, what, a couple hundred years? How long has the USA been a country? Okay. ChatGPT is legit. All right. It does not lie. 249 years. 249. Do y'all really think that we can outsmart China? No. So now the Orange Man has declared war against China. Trade war on China, not war. Okay, not war, trade war. The Chinese manufacturers are like, hey, okay, we know you guys like your things, so let's piss you off a little bit. You know those Birkin bags that you love so much? You know those Chanel bags that you love? You know those Lululemon leggings that you are so fond of? Do y'all know where they're made? In France? At Paris? In the USA? In Italy? There is all of the above. However, for any bag what Chanel, I actually looked this up. Y'all could do a little bit of research too. Okay. But for with Chanel, what I found in research is their seasonal bags and their couture pieces, they make them by hand in France. But then their bags that are just like their standard everyday bag, we call those in the world of supply chain commodity items. Okay. So they're commodity items that just happen to have the name Chanel on them. You they are not made in Paris. They're not made in Paris. Now the sticker will say made in Paris or whatever in France. Okay. Je suis né à Paris. Or je suis, how do you say I am I was born in France. I can't remember. Je suis. What is it? How do you say? How do you say? Comment dit-on? I was born in France. I gotta say this in French. Uh, do you say I was born in France? Oh, France. Oh, not in dance. How do you say I was born in France in French? Question mark. Okay. Uh, oh, I did say it right. Okay. Je suis né à Paris. I did say it right. I took 3 years of French in high school. I was actually homecoming court on the French court. Okay. And then my family is from Cameroon. All right. Um, Je suis né à Cameroun. So, nous parlons français, un peu de français. Okay. We speak a little, I speak a very, very small French. Um, but my dad is fluent in French. He doesn't practice it all the time, so he doesn't, he can't speak it all the time. So sometimes there's things I'm like, is that my saying it right? And I do. When I've been drinking, y'all, I am French. You cannot tell me nothing. All right, I am French. Je peux parler trop beaucoup de français. Okay, I can speak a lot of French, and blah blah blah. But anyways, so that Chanel bag can say that it was born in France because that's the final place of assembly. So the way supply chain works, manufacturing works, you'll have different components made all around the world, really and truly, because it's based on like where the natural resource is coming from, like because different countries do different things really well. Surprise, surprise. And different countries have different types of like minerals and such, and maybe one country may have the minerals but not the factory to refine. So then the mineral is it's mined there and exported somewhere else for refinement. And then in the case of Africa, which is now finally starting to build manufacturing, they'll import it back into their country. But there's times where it's just more economical, right, to be able to make those transactions. We do it in the U.S. with our oil, like crude oil. We actually we like our oil pipes when you talk about drill baby drill. Yeah, a lot of that oil we can't use in the US. So you drill it and then you export, maybe you exchange it for like free trade. You exchange for oil that you actually can use. We can't the half it's like half the oil we actually can manufacture in the US we can't use here. Why? Because we would have to invest so much money in our oil refineries in order to be able to use that. And because the like we sell oil at such a low cost, it's just not economically, it just does not make sense. And so the government does subsidize a large proportion of the oil in the US, but they don't talk about that stuff. Anyways, on back to bags. So so yeah, so the bags, the actual like shell of the bag could be made in China. I'm not saying that it is because I don't have the proof, but when I saw online from my research, there's a very good shot. Y'all do your own research. There's a good chance that some of those bags could be made in China, right? And then you like the actual shell of the bag, and then you do the final you import into France and do the final assembly in France. Which is where like the bulk of like the value add, like the final, the labels there. So like the bulk of that final value add is there. So it makes sense to do that final assembly there. But similar things with Birkin, right? And so people are in an uproar. They're like, y'all believe anything? They're lying to you. I'm like, it's just like cars, guys. Do y'all think cars, Ford, Chrysler, all these Mazda, all these American cars, y'all think they're 100% made in America? They're not. They're not. There's components that are produced all around the world, and then they're brought to the US for like final assembly, generally speaking, like the final inspection. Wherever a product is finally inspected or the final component is put on there, that's where it's made. Wherever the technology, like whoever designed it, wherever they designed it from, that's where it's made. That's how it works. And it's been really, really cool to be actually able to see like supply chain talked about so much. And because that's been my world, like supply chain is what has allowed me to really like increase my income. And so it's a very, very lucrative field. If you get it right and you learn some things or whatever, it can be quite lucrative, especially when you get into manufacturing where it's quite complex. And so at that point you're getting paid for your brain. But yeah, so to see like my world be so talked about, and this is the second time. The first time it was during COVID, and a burst of people got interested in supply chain and manufacturing. I mean, there was maybe like one or two programs back when I was going to get my master's in supply chain. So I ended up just getting an MBA. Well, I say just. I ended up getting an MBA versus I wanted to get a specialization in supply chain, but I couldn't. So I got an MBA with a focus on marketing and develop organizational development. Is really what my focus was on. But yeah, so that's been what has been I've been kind of watching and been into this past week. Of course, I still watch all my politics. Y'all know I love politics. You may not know that. If you follow me on Instagram, you'll see that in my stories quite frequently because I believe in educating people and inform people instead of like just getting numb to it all. No, you should be informed as to what's going on. Stay aware. All right. Stay woke. Keep your eyes open. Don't listen to everything everywhere, but at least try to follow people that you trust to give you accurate information. That way, you know what's going on, so that when you turn on the TV and they talking about your favorite designer bag is made in China, you can be like, well, it's pretty complex. That's not really the case, right? Because if we're going to say Birkin is made in China, then let's go ahead and say that Ford is made in Canada. All right, that's all I got for today. I'm so surprised. I actually did a whole sip by myself. Oh my gosh, this is crazy. Um, what do y'all think? Y'all like this? Should I like hop on maybe on a live on a Saturday every now and again, like once a month or something? Let me know. Again, if you like this video, please like it, thumbs up, and leave another thumbs up in the comments. What was your favorite segment to talk about? Are you watching Love on the Spectrum? If so, who is your favorite individual or couple? Okay. And what's your favorite designer bag? Drop that in the comments below. And until next time, bye.